The champagne flute slips from my fingers, shattering against the marble floor of our penthouse like my marriage, expensive, beautiful, and now completely ruined. Before we dive deeper into this story, I have one small request. Please subscribe, drop a like, comment, and hit that hype button to boost this channel so more people can discover these incredible Reddit stories. I'm Alex Morrison, 38 years old, owner of 3 upscale restaurants in Manhattan, and apparently the biggest fool on the Upper East Side. My wife Olivia stands 15 feet away, her perfectly manicured hand resting on Hollywood A-lister Ryan Blackwood's chest, whispering something that makes him laugh. The same laugh I used to hear when she told me her secrets. Jesus, Alex, you look like someone pissed in your protein shake. My best friend Jake slides up beside me, surveying the charity gala crowd with practiced cynicism. Jake's a former NYPD detective turned private investigator, which means he notices everything and trusts no one. Smart man. Just enjoying the view, I mutter, watching Olivia trace circles on Ryan's lapel. She's wearing the emerald dress I bought her for our 5th anniversary, the one she claimed was too flashy for our intimate dinner, but apparently perfect for flirting with movie stars. The Metropolitan Museum's Great Hall buzzes with Manhattan's elite, fashion designers, tech moguls, politicians, and enough plastic surgery to stock a medical supply warehouse. This is Olivia's world now, has been for the past 2 years since her lifestyle blog exploded into a multi-million-dollar brand. I'm just the guy who pays the bills and provides legitimacy when she needs a +1. You know what your problem is? Jake continues, popping a shrimp into his mouth. You're too forgiving. You watch your wife practically undressing Ryan Blackwood with her eyes, and here you are, standing around chatting instead of hauling her out of here. It's not that simple. Bullshit. Jake's voice carries the authority of someone who's seen every kind of human betrayal. Simple is exactly what it is. She's disrespecting you in public, Alex, in front of people who matter in your business. He's right, of course. I can see the looks, the whispered conversations behind champagne flutes. Manhattan's social scene thrives on gossip, and tonight I'm providing premium entertainment. The successful restaurateur whose influencer wife prefers Hollywood meat to home cooking. Olivia throws her head back, laughing at something Ryan whispered. Her blonde hair cascades perfectly. She spent 3 hours at the salon this afternoon, longer than she's spent talking to me this entire week. The emerald dress clings to her curves, the same curves I used to worship before she decided I wasn't worth her time. Mr. Morrison? A woman appears at my elbow. Charlotte Webb, society reporter for Manhattan Elite magazine. She's got predator eyes and a smile sharp enough to cut glass. Could I get a quote about the Children's Hospital fundraiser? I understand your restaurants are major sponsors. Of course. I force a smile, the same one I use when food critics show up unannounced. We're proud to support such an important cause. Children's health care shouldn't depend on family income. Charlotte nods, but her eyes drift toward Olivia and Ryan. Your wife looks stunning tonight. That dress is absolutely divine. She has excellent taste. The words taste like ash. And Mr. Blackwood seems quite taken with her. They make a striking pair, don't you think? Jake steps closer, his cop instincts recognizing a threat. But I don't need protection from gossip columnists. Not yet. Ryan's a friend, I say smoothly. We're all friends here. Charlotte's smile widens. She smells blood in the water. Of course. Well, if you'll excuse me, I should mingle. Enjoy the rest of your evening, Mr. Morrison. She glides away, already typing notes into her phone. By tomorrow morning, half of Manhattan will be reading about the cozy friendship between Olivia Morrison and Ryan Blackwood. You're handling this all wrong, Jake mutters. You should be over there, marking your territory. This isn't a nature documentary, Jake. Isn't it? Look around, Alex. This is all about dominance and submission, predators and prey. And right now you're looking pretty edible. Across the room, Olivia's manager Sasha approaches them with two other women I don't recognize. Sasha Kim is everything Olivia aspires to be: cold, calculating, and completely ruthless. She transformed my wife from a mommy blogger into a lifestyle brand worth 8 figures. She also transformed her from a loving wife into someone I barely recognize. The group huddles together, occasionally glancing in my direction. Olivia's expression shifts from flirtatious to serious, nodding at whatever Sasha's saying. Ryan checks his Rolex, a limited edition worth more than most people's cars. They're planning something, Jake observes. Body language doesn't lie. You're paranoid. I'm experienced. There's a difference. The orchestra begins playing something classical and boring. Couples drift toward the dance floor, including Ryan and Olivia. She doesn't look back at me, doesn't even acknowledge my existence as she melts into his arms. I've seen Ryan Blackwood in a dozen action movies, always playing the hero who gets the girl and saves the world. In person, he's shorter than expected, but carries himself with the confidence of someone who's never been told no. His dark hair is perfectly styled, his tuxedo custom-tailored, and his smile practiced enough to charm investors out of their retirement funds. He's also married to actress Jennifer Cole, though they've been taking a break, according to the tabloids. Convenient timing. Alex Morrison? Another voice interrupts my brooding. This time it's Marcus Chen, a tech entrepreneur whose restaurant app helped launch 2 of my locations. Great event. How's business? Booming, I lie. Actually, we're doing well, but my attention has been scattered lately. Hard to focus on profit margins when your wife is building an exit strategy. Excellent. I've been meaning to talk to you about expanding the partnership. Maybe we could grab lunch next week? Absolutely. Have your assistant call mine. Marcus nods and moves on. At least some relationships in my life are still functional. My restaurants are solid. 3 locations, 2 with Michelin stars, and a 4th in development. I built this empire from nothing, starting with a food truck and working 18-hour days until I could afford a real kitchen. Olivia used to be proud of my success. She'd bring friends to the restaurants, showing off the man who could turn simple ingredients into culinary art. Now she acts like my achievements are obstacles to her own ambitions. The dance ends, and Ryan escorts Olivia back to their group. His hand rests on the small of her back, intimate, possessive. She doesn't pull away. Jake finishes his drink and signals for another. You want my professional opinion? Do I have a choice? Your wife is having an affair, not just emotional, physical. The way she moves around him, the way she mirrors his body language, the way she's completely forgotten you exist. I've seen it 1,000 times. The words hit like a punch to the solar plexus, even though I've been thinking the same thing for weeks. Hearing it from Jake makes it real, transforms suspicion into fact. How long? I ask. Based on tonight? They're past the awkward phase. I'd say at least a month, probably longer. A month. Jesus. A month of coming home to her fake smiles and manufactured excuses. A month of sleeping next to someone who's been sharing her body with another man. What are you going to do about it? Jake asks. Before I can answer, Sasha Kim appears in front of us like a perfectly dressed shark. She's wearing black Armani and a smile that doesn't reach her eyes. Alex, darling, she purrs. So wonderful to see you. You look tired. Long week, I reply. 3 restaurants don't run themselves. Of course, though I hope you're not working too hard. Olivia needs her husband present and supportive, especially with all the exciting opportunities coming her way. Jake shifts beside me, his detective instincts on high alert. Sasha notices and extends her hand. I don't believe we've met. Sasha Kim, Olivia's manager. Jake Sullivan, Alex's friend. They shake hands like diplomats from warring nations, polite, cautious, and ready for battle. Opportunities? I ask. Sasha's smile widens. Oh, I shouldn't spoil the surprise. But let's just say Olivia's brand is about to reach a whole new level. International opportunities, major partnerships, the kind of deals that transform careers. That's wonderful, I say, though something cold settles in my stomach. I'm sure she'll handle whatever comes her way. With the right support system, absolutely, though sometimes success requires difficult choices, sacrifices. I'm sure you understand. She glides away before I can respond, leaving Jake and me staring after her. What the hell was that about? Jake mutters. I have no idea. But I'm starting to suspect. The late-night phone calls, the mysterious meetings, the way Olivia's been distancing herself from our shared life. It's not just an affair, it's an exit strategy. The evening drags on with more small talk, more forced smiles, more watching my wife fall deeper under Ryan Blackwood's spell. By the time we're in the car heading home, the silence between us feels like a physical weight. Olivia stares out the window, her phone buzzing constantly with messages she doesn't answer in front of me. The emerald dress that looked so stunning earlier now seems like costume jewelry, beautiful but fake. Good turnout tonight, I venture. She doesn't look away from the window. Ryan seems nice. Now she turns, her blue eyes sharp in the passing streetlights. He is nice. He's also incredibly talented and successful in his own right. Not everyone needs to ride someone else's coattails. The barb hits its target. I've never asked you to ride my coattails, Olivia. If anything, I've supported your career from day one. Supported? She laughs, but there's no humor in it. You mean tolerated. There's a difference, Alex. You tolerate my success because it makes you look good. The successful restaurateur with the influencer wife. But you've never actually understood what I do or why it matters. That's not fair, isn't it? When was the last time you read my blog? When was the last time you came to one of my events without complaining about the time commitment? You show up, smile for photos, and count the minutes until you can leave. She's not entirely wrong, which makes the accusation sting worse. I have been distracted lately, focused on expanding the business while she built her empire. But that doesn't justify what I saw tonight. I saw you with Ryan, I say quietly. So? So it looked like more than friendship. Olivia turns back to the window. Ryan understands ambition. He knows what it takes to succeed at the highest level. Maybe you could learn something from him. The car pulls up to our building, and Olivia gets out without waiting for me. By the time I reach our penthouse, she's already in the bedroom with the door closed. I can hear her talking quietly on the phone, though I can't make out the words. I pour myself 3 fingers of bourbon and stand at the floor-to-ceiling windows overlooking Central Park. The city sparkles below, millions of lights representing millions of lives, most of them probably happier than mine right now. My phone buzzes with a text from Jake. You okay? I type back, define okay? Want to talk? Tomorrow. Need to think. Don't think too hard. Sometimes the obvious answer is the right one. I finish the bourbon and head to the guest bedroom, where I've been sleeping more often lately. Olivia doesn't even notice when I don't come to bed anymore, or if she does, she doesn't care. As I lie in the dark, I can still hear her voice through the walls, soft and intimate in a way she hasn't spoken to me in months. She's talking to someone who makes her laugh, someone who makes her feel alive, someone who isn't her husband. Jake's words echo in my head. Sometimes the obvious answer is the right one. The obvious answer is that my marriage is over. The question is what I'm going to do about it. 3 days after the gala, I'm standing in the kitchen of Morrison's, my flagship restaurant, watching my sous chef Tommy prepare the evening's special when my phone explodes with notifications. Instagram, Twitter, Facebook, even LinkedIn. All tagged photos from the charity event. Most show Olivia and Ryan looking cozy on the dance floor. The captions range from innocent, beautiful couple, with heart emojis, to suggestive, is there something we should know? One particularly brutal comment reads, where's the husband? Oh right, probably working while wifey plays. Boss? Tommy looks up from his knife work. You okay? You look like you want to murder something. I'm fine. I pocket the phone and grab my chef's coat. How's prep coming? Smooth as butter, though we're running low on the duck breast for tonight's special. Call Peterson's. Have them deliver another case. Tommy nods and returns to his mise en place. I've been working with him for 3 years, and he's got the instincts to become head chef someday. Unlike my wife, he actually appreciates what we've built here. The lunch rush is winding down, but the dining room still buzzes with conversation and clinking silverware. Through the kitchen's pass-through window, I can see familiar faces, food critics, business partners, regular customers who've become friends. This restaurant is more than a business. It's a community I've spent years cultivating. My phone rings. Jake. You see the photos? He asks without preamble. Hard to miss them. Charlotte Webb's column comes out tomorrow morning. Might want to brace yourself. I step into my office and close the door. How bad? Bad enough. She's not directly accusing anyone of anything, but she's asking all the right questions. Where does friendship end and romance begin? That kind of shit. Perfect. Nothing kills a restaurateur's reputation faster than becoming tabloid fodder. People come to my establishments for discretion and class, not to gawk at the owner whose wife prefers movie stars. There's something else, Jake continues. I did some digging on Ryan Blackwood. I didn't ask you to. Yeah, well, I did it anyway. Guy's got a pattern. 3 affairs in the past 5 years, all with married women, all ending with the women leaving their husbands. He's got a type. Successful, ambitious, looking for an upgrade. The words hit like ice water. An upgrade. Think about it, Alex. Olivia's brand is built on lifestyle and luxury, right? What's more luxurious than dating Hollywood royalty? What better way to go international than on the arm of someone with global recognition? I sink into my desk chair, the pieces clicking into place. This isn't just an affair, it's a business strategy. Olivia isn't just cheating, she's rebranding. I could be wrong, Jake adds, though his tone suggests otherwise. But the timeline fits. Her manager, Sasha Kim, has connections to talent agencies in LA. Word is they've been shopping Olivia around for television opportunities. Television, of course. The natural evolution from lifestyle blogger to influencer to media personality, and nothing sells like a love story, especially one involving a Hollywood star and a successful entrepreneur's wife. Alex, you there? Yeah, I'm here. What do you want to do? Good question. What do you do when you realize your marriage is actually a hostile takeover, when the woman you love sees you as a stepping stone rather than a partner? I need proof, I say finally. Real proof, not just speculation and gossip. I can help with that. But Alex, once you have proof, you can't unknow it. You sure you want to go down this road? I think about last night, coming home to find Olivia on another business call that ended the moment I walked in. I think about the way she's been looking at me lately, not with anger or resentment, but with something worse, indifference. Yeah, I say, I'm sure. After Jake hangs up, I sit in my office staring at the framed photo on my desk. It's from our wedding 6 years ago, Olivia in white silk, me in my best suit, both of us grinning like we'd won the lottery. We were so happy that day. Or at least I was. A knock interrupts my brooding. Come in. It's Maria, my general manager at Morrison's. She's been with me since I opened, a middle-aged Puerto Rican woman with the organizational skills of a military commander and the warmth of everyone's favorite aunt. Alex, we need to talk about the Pemberton anniversary party next week. They're asking about dietary restrictions for their guests. I force myself to focus on business. The Pembertons are old money Manhattan, the kind of clients who can make or break a restaurant's reputation. Their golden anniversary party will host 200 of the city's most influential people. What kind of restrictions? The usual gluten-free, vegan, shellfish allergies, But Mrs. Pemberton also mentioned that some guests are watching their figures for upcoming events. I think she means they want smaller portions but don't want to admit it. We can do a tasting menu with smaller plates, more courses, same total food, everyone feels fancy. Maria nods and makes notes. Also, she asked if Olivia might attend. Apparently, Mrs. Pemberton follows her blog and thinks she's absolutely delightful. My stomach clenches. A month ago, I would have been proud that clients wanted to meet my wife. Now it feels like salt in an open wound. I'll ask her, I lie. Maria studies my face with the intuition of someone who's seen me through every crisis of the past 5 years. Everything okay at home? Fine. Just the usual stress. She doesn't believe me, but she's too professional to push. Okay, but Alex? If you need anything, someone to talk to, help with arrangements, whatever, you know I'm here. Thanks, Maria. That means a lot. After she leaves, I try to focus on work, but my mind keeps drifting to Jake's words. 3 affairs, all with married women, all ending with divorces. Is that Olivia's plan? Build her brand on the foundation of our marriage, then trade up when something better comes along? My phone buzzes with a text from an unknown number. Saw the photos from the gala. So sorry, Alex. If you need a friend, call me. Diana Peterson. We dated briefly 5 years ago before I met Olivia. She's a food and wine writer now, divorced, and apparently keeping track of my personal drama through social media. The text is kind, but it also confirms my worst fear. Everyone can see what's happening to my marriage, except me. I delete the text without responding. The afternoon passes in a blur of vendor calls, staff meetings, and menu planning. Normal restaurant business that usually energizes me, but today feels like going through the motions. Every few minutes, my phone buzzes with another tagged photo or comment about the gala. The internet has decided that Olivia and Ryan are either couple goals or totally inappropriate, with no middle ground. Around 4 o'clock, I get a call from my lawyer, David Stern. We've been friends since college, and he handles all my business contracts. Alex, we need to talk. Can you come by my office? What's this about? Not over the phone, but it concerns Olivia and some documents she had me review last week. My blood turns to ice. What kind of documents? Just come by, okay? We'll talk in person. David's office is in Midtown, all glass and steel and expensive furniture designed to intimidate opposing counsel. He's waiting for me in his conference room with a manila folder and the expression of someone about to deliver bad news. Sit down, Alex. I sit, my hands clenched in my lap. What did she ask you to review? David opens the folder and slides a document across the table. It's a prenuptial agreement, the one Olivia and I signed before our wedding. I haven't looked at it in years. She wanted to understand the terms, David says carefully. Specifically, the clauses regarding business assets and spousal support. I scan the document, remembering the negotiations. We were so in love then, so certain our marriage would last forever. The prenup was just a formality, something our lawyers insisted on to protect the restaurants. What did you tell her? The truth. That in the event of divorce, she'd be entitled to half of any assets acquired during the marriage, minus the restaurants, which remains solely yours due to the premarital business clause. She'd also receive spousal support for 3 years, assuming the marriage lasts more than 5 years. We've been married 6 years. She qualifies for everything. Did she say why she was asking? David's expression grows more uncomfortable. She mentioned something about exploring her options and wanting to understand her financial position. Alex, I have to ask, is everything okay at home? I want to lie, to pretend everything's fine, but the words won't come. I think she's having an affair. David nods like he was expecting this. I'm sorry, Alex. I really am. Olivia seemed different when she came in. More focused on business than emotion, if you know what I mean. She's planning to leave me. It's possible. The questions she asked were pretty specific about asset division and support calculations. I stare at the prenup, remembering the day we signed it. Olivia had joked that we'd never need it, that we were too in love to ever split up. She'd kissed me after signing, tasting like champagne and promises. What are my options? I ask. Honestly? Not many. If she files for divorce, the prenup is pretty clear about asset division. Your best bet is to document any infidelity, which could affect spousal support, but even then, she walks away with millions. Yeah, I'm sorry, Alex. I take the prenup and stand up. Thanks for the heads up, David. Send me your bill. There's no charge for this conversation. And Alex, if you need help with anything else, divorce proceedings, asset protection, whatever, call me immediately. Don't try to handle this alone. The subway ride back to the restaurant gives me time to think. Olivia's been planning this for weeks, maybe months. While I was working 16-hour days to build our future, she was calculating the value of our past. Back at Morrison's, the dinner rush is starting. I put on my chef's coat and lose myself in the rhythm of the kitchen, calling out orders, tasting sauces, making sure every plate that leaves the pass meets my standards. This is what I know, what I'm good at. This is real in a way that my marriage apparently never was. Around 10 o'clock, Jake shows up at the bar. He orders a scotch and waits until the crowd thins before approaching me. You look like shit, he observes. Thanks. You always know just what to say. Seriously, what happened? You sounded weird on the phone earlier. I tell him about David's call and the prenup consultation. Jake listens without interrupting, his cop face revealing nothing. So she's been planning this, he says finally. Looks like it. The question is how long? This could be recent or it could go back months. Does it matter? Jake finishes his scotch. Yeah, it matters. Because if this has been going on for months, then everything she's done recently, the gala, the public displays with Ryan, all of it, has been calculated to humiliate you. She's not just leaving you, Alex. She's destroying your reputation on the way out. The words hit like a physical blow. I think about the photos from the gala, the comments on social media, Charlotte Webb's upcoming column. Olivia hasn't just been having an affair. She's been staging a public execution of our marriage. Why? I ask. Why not just ask for a divorce quietly? Why the public humiliation? Because quiet doesn't sell magazines. Quiet doesn't get you on talk shows or land you a reality TV deal. Drama sells, Alex. And you're the villain in her story. I close my eyes, feeling the weight of the day settle on my shoulders. 6 years of marriage, 10 years of building my business, and it all comes down to this: being cast as the boring husband in my wife's rebranding campaign. What do you want to do? Jake asks. I open my eyes and look around my restaurant. The dining room is full of happy couples, families celebrating, friends enjoying good food and wine. This is what I built, what I'm proud of. Olivia might be able to take half my assets, but she can't take this. I want to fight back, I say. Jake grins. Now you're talking. What did you have in mind? I don't know yet, but if she wants to play games, I'll play games. And I play to win. Good, because from what I can tell, the game's just getting started. The next morning, Charlotte Webb's column appears online at exactly 6 a.m. The headline reads, "When Friendship Blooms, the Olivia Morrison and Ryan Blackwood Connection." It's accompanied by a photo of them dancing at the gala, her head tilted back in laughter, his eyes focused entirely on her face. I read it over coffee in my empty penthouse. Olivia left early for a brand meeting that will probably last all day. The column is a masterpiece of innuendo, never directly stating anything improper, but asking all the right questions to plant seeds of doubt. Sources close to the couple describe their connection as electric and undeniable, Webb writes. While Morrison's husband Alex was notably absent from much of the evening's festivities, Blackwood seemed more than happy to fill the role of attentive companion. My phone starts ringing at 6:15 a.m. First Maria, then Tommy, then David the lawyer, all asking if I've seen the column, all offering support in their own ways. I let most calls go to voicemail. At 7, Jake calls. You read it? Unfortunately. Could be worse. She's not directly accusing anyone of anything. Yet, Jake agrees. But Alex, this is actually good news. How the hell is this good news? Because now it's public. Before, this was just gossip among your social circle. Now it's out there for everyone to see. That means Olivia and Ryan have to be more careful, which makes them more likely to make mistakes. I hadn't thought of it that way. What kind of mistakes? The kind that give us proof. Look, they're going to want to control the narrative now. That means meetings, phone calls, coordinated responses, all of which can be documented if we're smart about it. I'm not hiring you to spy on my wife, Jake. You're not hiring me for anything. I'm doing this as a friend, and I'm not talking about illegal surveillance. I'm talking about being aware, being prepared, and making sure you have all the information you need to protect yourself. After Jake hangs up, I shower and dress for another day of pretending everything's normal. The restaurants won't run themselves, and I can't afford to let my personal drama affect business. At Morrison's, the morning prep is in full swing. Tommy and the other cooks move through their routines with practiced efficiency, but I can feel their eyes on me. News travels fast in the restaurant industry, and I'm sure they've all seen the column. Boss? Tommy approaches while I'm reviewing inventory. You got a minute? We step into my office. Tommy's been with me since the beginning, working his way up from line cook to sous chef. He's earned the right to speak his mind. Look, I don't know what's going on with your personal life, and it's none of my business, he starts. But the crew's worried. This place is our livelihood too, and if there's going to be complications, we'd rather know now. The restaurants are fine, Tommy. Whatever happens in my personal life, the business is secure. Good, because we got your back, you know? All of us. You built something special here, and we're not going to let anyone mess with it. The loyalty means more than I can express. Thanks, Tommy. That means everything. Also, just so you know, if that Hollywood asshole ever shows up here, he's getting the worst table in the house and overcooked fish. Despite everything, I laugh. I appreciate the sentiment, but let's keep it professional. Fine, but the offer stands. The lunch service goes smoothly, but I notice more people than usual staring at their phones while eating. A few customers approach me with sympathetic smiles and awkward small talk. Word is definitely spreading. Around 2 o'clock, I get a text from an unknown number. Mr. Morrison, this is Rebecca Chen from Style Network. We'd love to discuss a potential opportunity with you and your wife. Could we set up a meeting? I show the text to Jake when he stops by the restaurant later. Style Network, he muses. Reality TV, lifestyle programming, this fits the pattern. What pattern? Think about it. Olivia builds her brand, has a public affair with a movie star, divorces the boring restaurateur husband, and gets her own show about finding love in Hollywood. It's perfect television. The cynicism in his voice matches my growing suspicions. So I'm just a plot device. In her story, yeah, probably. But here's the thing about stories. They don't always end the way the protagonist expects. Jake pulls out his laptop and opens a folder full of documents. I've been busy. Want to see what I found? The first document is a property record showing that Olivia signed a lease on a penthouse apartment in Soho 3 weeks ago. The second is a credit report showing several large purchases, furniture, electronics, expensive clothing, all charged to cards I don't recognize. She's been planning this for a while, Jake explains. The apartment lease is in her name only, paid for with funds from her business account. She's been systematically moving assets and setting up her post-divorce life. The betrayal cuts deeper than I expected. While I was worrying about our marriage, she was already living her single life. There's more. Jake shows me printouts of social media posts, all from the past month. Photos of Olivia at restaurants I don't recognize, events I wasn't invited to, meetings with people I've never met. In several photos, Ryan Blackwood appears in the background or tagged in comments. They've been dating openly, I say. In certain circles, yeah, just not yours. The final document is a bank statement showing regular deposits into an account I've never seen before. The amounts are significant, tens of thousands of dollars monthly. Where's this money coming from? That's the interesting part. The deposits come from three sources: her management company, a production company called Blackwood Entertainment, and something called Morrison Lifestyle Ventures. Morrison Lifestyle Ventures? I've never heard of that. Jake's expression grows grim. It's a company Olivia incorporated 6 months ago, and according to the filing documents, it's designed to monetize lifestyle content and personal brand opportunities. She's been using my name. Without your knowledge or consent, yeah. This could actually be good news for you legally. Using your name and reputation without permission to build a competing business? David's going to love this. I stare at the documents, trying to process the scope of Olivia's deception. This isn't just an affair or even a planned divorce. It's a complete identity theft, a systematic dismantling of everything we built together so she can rebuild it with someone else. How long have you known? I ask. I started digging yesterday after our conversation, got most of this stuff this morning. And you didn't think to call me immediately? Jake closes the laptop. Because I knew you'd react exactly like this. Alex, I know you're pissed and you have every right to be, but getting emotional won't help. We need to be smart about this. Smart how? First, we document everything. Every lie, every hidden asset, every unauthorized use of your name and reputation. Second, we figure out what she's planning next so we can stay ahead of it. Third, we make sure you come out of this with your business and your dignity intact. And fourth? Jake grins. Fourth, we make sure she regrets ever messing with you. That evening, I come home to find Olivia in the living room with Sasha and two men I don't recognize. They're spread out around the coffee table with laptops, documents, and what looks like a presentation folder. Alex! Olivia jumps up with fake enthusiasm. Perfect timing. I want you to meet some people. The older man stands and extends his hand. David Blackwood, Ryan's brother and business manager. We've heard so much about you. David Blackwood is everything his movie star brother isn't. Average height, thinning hair, and the soft build of someone who spends his life behind a desk. But his handshake is firm, and his eyes are sharp. And this is Marcus Webb from Style Network, Olivia continues. Marcus Webb is younger, probably early 30s, with the aggressive enthusiasm of someone climbing the corporate ladder. His suit is expensive but not quite tailored right, and he's trying too hard to project confidence. Mr. Morrison, such a pleasure. We're huge fans of your restaurants. I actually ate at Morrison's last month. The duck was incredible. Thank you. I keep my voice neutral. What brings you all here? We're discussing some exciting opportunities for Olivia, Sasha interjects. Television, brand partnerships, really taking her platform to the next level. That's wonderful. I look directly at Olivia. I'm surprised you didn't mention it earlier. A flicker of something, guilt, annoyance, crosses her face. It's all very preliminary. We're just exploring options. Of course, any opportunities would involve both of you, Marcus adds quickly. The power couple angle, successful restaurateur and lifestyle guru, it's very appealing to our demographic. I almost laugh at the absurdity. They're planning to use our marriage to sell their show while simultaneously planning to end it. Sounds interesting, I lie. But I'm sure you understand I'd need to review any contracts carefully before committing to anything. David Blackwood's smile tightens almost imperceptibly. Naturally. Though sometimes these opportunities have limited windows. The network is moving quickly on this project. then I'm sure they'll understand the importance of due diligence. An uncomfortable silence settles over the room. Sasha types something into her phone, probably texting someone about my lack of cooperation. "Well," Marcus says, standing up, "we should let you folks discuss this privately. Mr. Morrison, we'll have our legal team send over the preliminary agreements for your review. I look forward to reading them." After they leave, Olivia and I stand in our living room like strangers. She's still wearing the outfit from her morning meeting, a designer dress that costs more than most people's monthly rent. "That was rude," she says finally. "Was it? I thought I was being cautious." "They're offering us an incredible opportunity, Alex. This could change everything for us." "Change everything how?" She sits on the couch, suddenly looking tired. "Do you know what it's like being married to someone who's completely satisfied with the status quo? You've built your restaurants, you've found your success, and now you just want to maintain it. But I want more." "More what?" "More everything. More recognition. More opportunities. More life. I don't want to spend the rest of my years being known as the restaurateur's wife. I want to be known for what I've accomplished." There's truth in her words, even if the delivery is cruel. I have been focused on maintaining what we've built rather than expanding it. But that doesn't justify what she's done. "And Ryan understands that?" Olivia's expression hardens. "Ryan understands ambition. He knows what it takes to succeed at the highest level." "Is that all he understands?" "What's that supposed to mean?" I could confront her now, show her Jake's evidence, force the truth into the open. But something holds me back. Maybe it's curiosity about how far she'll take the lies, or maybe it's the strategic part of my brain that knows information is power. "Nothing," I say. "I'm just tired. It's been a long day." Olivia nods, already turning back to her phone. "I'm going out for dinner with Sasha. We have more planning to do." "Of course you are." She pauses at the door. "Alex, this television opportunity could be really good for both of us. I hope you'll consider it seriously." "I'll give it all the consideration it deserves." After she leaves, I pour myself a drink and call Jake. "How'd it go?" he asks. "They want me to be part of their show, the happy couple angle." "Jesus, these people have balls, I'll give them that." "Jake, I need you to dig deeper. I want to know everything. When the affair started, how long they've been planning this, what their endgame really is." "You sure?" "Once we go down this road, I'm sure. They want to use me as a prop in their little drama? Fine, but I'm going to make sure I know the script." "Okay. But Alex, whatever we find, whatever we do with it, we do it smart. No emotional reactions, no public scenes. We play this like chess, not checkers." "Agreed." "Good. Because if I'm right about these people, they're about to make some very big mistakes, and when they do, we'll be ready." After Jake hangs up, I sit in my empty penthouse, looking out at the city lights. Somewhere out there, my wife is having dinner with people who see our marriage as a business opportunity. Somewhere else, Ryan Blackwood is probably planning his next move in whatever game they're playing. But they've made one crucial error. They've assumed I'm just a passive player, someone who'll go along with their plans because I don't know any better. They're about to learn how wrong they are. 2 weeks later, I'm standing in the back of the ballroom at the Pemberton anniversary party, watching 200 of Manhattan's elite celebrate 50 years of marriage. The irony isn't lost on me. The party is flawless, exactly what the Pembertons wanted, and exactly what Morrison Catering delivers. 5 courses of perfectly prepared food, seamless service, and enough champagne to float a yacht. Mrs. Pemberton has already cornered me twice to rave about the meal, and 3 other potential clients have asked for my card. Under normal circumstances, this would be one of the best nights of my professional life. Instead, I'm watching my wife work the room like a politician, schmoozing with potential connections while studiously avoiding me. She's wearing a silver dress that catches the light every time she moves, and she's never looked more beautiful or more like a stranger. Hell of a party, Jake says, appearing beside me with a plate of the lamb course. Food's incredible. Thanks. I watch Olivia laugh at something Mrs. Pemberton's son is saying. Any updates on our research project? Yeah, we need to talk, but not here. Too many ears. Jake's right. Half the people in this room either know me personally or know of me professionally. The last thing I need is to be overheard discussing my wife's affair at a client event. Tomorrow morning, I say. My office. Actually, let's meet somewhere else. I found some things that are going to piss you off, and I'd rather you not be anywhere near sharp knives when I tell you. Before I can ask what he means, Sasha Kim materializes in front of us like a perfectly dressed vulture. Alex, wonderful party. The food is exceptional as always. Thank you. I don't believe we've been properly introduced, she says to Jake. Sasha Kim, Olivia's manager. Jake Sullivan, Alex's friend. They shake hands with the warmth of two icebergs colliding. Sasha's smile never wavers, but her eyes are calculating, trying to figure out exactly who Jake is and why he matters. Jake's a private investigator, I say casually. We've been friends since college. Sasha's smile tightens almost imperceptibly. How interesting. What kind of cases do you handle? All kinds. Fraud, missing persons, infidelity. You'd be amazed what people try to hide these days. The temperature in our little corner of the ballroom drops about 10 degrees. Sasha's professional mask slips for just a moment, revealing something harder underneath. Well, I hope you don't find too much work in that last category, she says. It would be such a shame if people couldn't trust each other. Wouldn't it? Jake agrees. Though in my experience, the truth usually comes out eventually. People aren't as good at keeping secrets as they think they are. Sasha excuses herself and glides away, but not before I catch her typing something into her phone, probably warning Olivia that I've got a private investigator for a best friend. Subtle, I tell Jake. Sometimes subtle doesn't work. Sometimes you need to let people know they're being watched. Across the room, I see Sasha whisper something to Olivia, who glances in our direction with an expression I can't read. Then she's back to schmoozing, but there's a tension in her posture that wasn't there before. The party continues without incident, but I notice Olivia leaves early, claiming a headache. She kisses my cheek goodbye, the first physical contact we've had in weeks, and promises to see me at home. Of course, when I get home 3 hours later, she's not there. The next morning, Jake and I meet at a diner in Brooklyn, far from anyone who might recognize us. He's got a manila folder thick enough to choke a horse, and the expression of someone about to deliver very bad news. You sure you want to hear this? He asks. I'm sure. Jake opens the folder and spreads out a timeline written in his careful handwriting. The affair started 4 months ago. First contact was at a charity event in the Hamptons, not the one you attended. You were in Chicago opening the second location. 4 months. Jesus. I think back to that weekend, how excited I was about the Chicago restaurant, how I'd called Olivia every night to share updates. She'd seemed supportive, asking all the right questions, telling me how proud she was. It got physical 3 weeks later, Jake continues. Ryan rented a suite at the Plaza for a weekend while his wife was filming in Vancouver. Hotel records show Olivia was there both nights. The Plaza. We'd had our wedding reception there 6 years ago. The business planning started about 6 weeks after that. Olivia incorporated Morrison Lifestyle Ventures, opened the new bank accounts, and started funneling money from her existing brand deals into the new company, using my name without permission. Right. But here's where it gets really ugly, Alex. They've been planning more than just a divorce. They've been planning your complete professional destruction. Jake slides a document across the table. It's a business plan, professionally formatted, with charts and projections, and a cover page that reads, Morrison Lifestyle Ventures, Strategic Brand Repositioning. Where did you get this? Sasha's assistant is dating a guy who works at the copy center, where they print their materials. Amazing what people will share for a couple $100 and a promise of anonymity. I flip through the document, my stomach sinking with each page. It's a detailed plan for leveraging my reputation and connections to build Olivia's brand, then systematically destroying my credibility to make her look like the victim of a controlling, unsupportive husband. Phase 1 was building her profile using your restaurant connections and social circle, Jake explains. Phase 2 was the public affair to generate sympathy and media attention. Phase 3 is the divorce, where she gets half your assets plus spousal support. Phase 4 is the television show, where she talks about rebuilding her life after escaping an emotionally abusive marriage. Emotionally abusive? According to their narrative, you're a controlling workaholic who stifled her creativity and tried to keep her from achieving her dreams. The affair with Ryan was her awakening to what real love and support look like. I closed the document, feeling sick. They're going to destroy my reputation. They're going to try. But Alex, this document is also your salvation. It proves premeditation, fraud, and defamation. David's going to have a field day with this in court. Court? Oh yeah, this is definitely going to court. Olivia's not going to settle quietly, not when she needs the drama for her television show. She's going to make this as public and ugly as possible. I think about my restaurants, my staff, my clients. Everything I've built could be destroyed by Olivia's need for publicity and Ryan's ego. There's one more thing, Jake says quietly. The timeline shows they've been planning to announce their relationship publicly next week. There's going to be a photo shoot, interviews, the whole thing. They want to control the narrative before anyone else can. Next week? Yeah, which means you've got about 6 days to decide how you want to handle this. You can be reactive, wait for them to make their move and then respond. Or you can be proactive. Proactive how? Jake grins, and for the first time in weeks, I see hope in his expression. By beating them at their own game, they want to control the narrative? Fine. Let's give them a narrative they'll never forget. That afternoon, I'm back at Morrison's, trying to focus on work while my brain processes everything Jake told me. The lunch service is busy, which helps distract me, but every few minutes I find myself staring at nothing, thinking about 4 months of lies and manipulation. Around 3 o'clock, Tommy approaches me in the kitchen. "Boss, there's a guy here to see you. Says he's from some production company." I follow Tommy to the dining room, where Marcus Webb from Style Network is waiting at a corner table. He's got a briefcase and the same overeager smile from our meeting at the penthouse. "Mr. Morrison, thanks for seeing me. I hope you don't mind me dropping by unannounced." "What can I do for you, Marcus?" He opens his briefcase and pulls out a thick contract. "I wanted to follow up on our conversation about the television opportunity. The network is really excited about moving forward, and we'd love to get your signature on the preliminary agreement." I flip through the contract without reading it carefully. This seems pretty comprehensive for a preliminary agreement. "Well, we're eager to get started. There's a lot of interest in lifestyle programming right now, and we think you and Olivia could be the next big thing." What exactly would the show involve? Marcus's enthusiasm ramps up another notch. "We're thinking something like restaurant royalty, following you and Olivia as you balance your successful careers and marriage. Very aspirational, very glamorous. The audience loves seeing how successful couples make it work. The irony is so thick, I could serve it as a sauce." "And what would the filming schedule look like?" "Pretty intensive for the first few months. We'd want cameras in the restaurants, at home, at events. Really give the audience an inside look at your lives." "Cameras at home." "Oh yes, that's where the best content is. The intimate moments, the private conversations. That's what really connects with viewers." I imagine cameras capturing Olivia's late-night phone calls, her mysterious absences, the way we barely speak to each other anymore. It would be the shortest-lived reality show in television history. "This is a big decision," I say. "I'll need time to review everything with my lawyer." Marcus's smile falters slightly. Of course, but I should mention that the network is hoping to announce the show next week. There's already been some media interest, and we'd like to capitalize on that momentum. Media interest? Well, there's been some speculation about you and Olivia in the gossip columns. Nothing negative, just curiosity about your relationship. The network sees that as a positive. It means people are already interested in your story. I hand the contract back to him. Like I said, I'll need time to review this properly. Have your legal team send everything to my lawyer. Mr. Morrison, I hope you understand that opportunities like this don't come along often. The network is prepared to offer very generous compensation, and the exposure for your restaurants would be invaluable. I understand, but I also understand the importance of making informed decisions. Marcus packs up his briefcase with obvious frustration. Of course! We'll be in touch soon. After he leaves, I call David immediately. They're trying to rush me into signing something, I tell him. A television contract that would give them access to everything. The restaurants, our home, our private lives. Don't sign anything, David says immediately. Not until we've reviewed every word. And Alex? Given what we discussed about Olivia's recent activities, I'd be very careful about giving anyone access to your business operations. You think they're planning something? I think people who've been planning a divorce for months while secretly using their spouse's name and reputation for profit are capable of anything. That evening, I come home to find Olivia in the living room with her laptop, typing furiously. She looks up when I walk in, and for a moment, her expression is almost guilty. "How was your day?" she asks. "Interesting. Marcus Webb stopped by the restaurant." "Oh?" She tries to sound casual, but I can see the tension in her shoulders. "He wanted me to sign the television contract. Today." "That's wonderful. I told you this could be amazing for both of us." He seemed pretty eager to get started. Said they want to announce the show next week. Olivia's typing stops. "Next week might be a little soon. There are still some details to work out." "What kind of details?" "Just logistics, scheduling, that sort of thing." She's lying, and we both know it. But I'm not ready to confront her yet. I need to know exactly what she's planning first. I told him I'd need time to review the contract with David. "Alex, please don't let lawyers complicate this. Sometimes you have to take risks to get what you want." "Is that what you've been doing? Taking risks?" She looks at me sharply. "What's that supposed to mean?" "Nothing. Just that you seem to be making a lot of decisions lately without discussing them with me first." "Like what?" I could mention the secret apartment, the hidden bank accounts, the business she incorporated using my name. Instead, I just shrug. Forget it. I'm tired. I head toward the guest bedroom, but Olivia's voice stops me. "Alex, are we okay?" I turn back to look at her. She's sitting on our expensive couch in our expensive penthouse, wearing clothes that cost more than most people make in a month, and she looks genuinely concerned. For a moment, I can almost see the woman I married 6 years ago. "Are we?" I ask. She doesn't answer, and I don't wait for one. In the guest bedroom, I lie awake thinking about Jake's timeline, Marcus's contract, and Olivia's lies. Tomorrow, I'll start fighting back. Tonight, I just want to remember what it felt like to trust the person sleeping down the hall. It feels like a lifetime ago. The next morning, I wake up to 17 missed calls and 43 text messages. My first thought is that something's happened to one of the restaurants. A fire, a break-in, something catastrophic. Then I see the first text from Jake. "Turn on Channel 7 now!" I grab the remote and flip to the local news. There's a reporter standing outside Morrison's talking into a microphone while early morning pedestrians gawk in the background. Confirmed that celebrity couple Ryan Blackwood and lifestyle influencer Olivia Morrison will be starring in their own reality show, chronicling their relationship and successful careers. The announcement comes amid speculation about Morrison's marriage to restaurateur Alex Morrison. though representatives for all parties declined to comment on the personal situation. My phone rings. Jake. "You seeing this?" he asks. "Yeah, I'm seeing it." It gets worse. Check page 6, TMZ, and Entertainment Tonight. They coordinated a full media blitz. I open my laptop while keeping the TV on. Page 6 has photos of Ryan and Olivia from last night, intimate shots of them having dinner at some trendy Soho restaurant I don't recognize. The headline reads, "New Love in the Big Apple. Ryan Blackwood and Olivia Morrison go public." TMZ is more direct. Ryan Blackwood's new reality, dating married lifestyle guru. Their article includes quotes from sources close to the couple, describing their undeniable connection and deep emotional bond. Entertainment Tonight has an exclusive interview with Sasha Kim, who manages to discuss Olivia's exciting new opportunities without directly confirming the affair while making it obvious to anyone with half a brain. "They've gone full nuclear," Jake observes. "No subtlety, no gradual reveal. They're forcing your hand." My phone starts ringing again. Maria from the restaurant, Tommy, David the lawyer, even my mother calling from Florida after seeing the news. I let them all go to voicemail. "Why now?" I ask Jake. "Why not wait until after the divorce announcement?" "Because they needed to control the narrative before you could. Think about it. If you'd filed for divorce first, you'd be the wronged husband. This way, they get to frame it as a love story. Star-crossed lovers finding each other despite circumstances. And I'm the obstacle to true love. Exactly. The boring, controlling husband who doesn't understand his wife's dreams." I close the laptop and turn off the TV. The silence in my penthouse feels oppressive after the media circus outside. "Jake, I need you to do something for me. Name it. I need you to find out where they are right now. All of them, Olivia, Ryan, Sasha, the whole crew. I want to know exactly where they're celebrating their big media coup." "Alex, whatever you're thinking, I'm thinking it's time to stop being reactive. You said I could be proactive? Fine, let's be proactive." 2 hours later, Jake calls back with locations. Olivia is at the Style Network offices in Midtown, probably doing interviews or planning the next phase of their media strategy. Ryan is at his hotel suite at the St. Regis. Sasha is at her agency's office in Soho. "They're scattered," Jake reports. "Probably trying to handle all the media requests separately." "Perfect. That means they can't coordinate their responses in real time." "What are you planning?" "I'm planning to give them something to really talk about." My first stop is the Style Network offices. The building is glass and steel, all sharp angles and corporate intimidation. I take the elevator to the 15th floor, where a receptionist with purple hair and enough piercings to set off a metal detector looks up from her computer. "I'm Alex Morrison," I tell her. "I believe my wife is here for meetings about our television show." The receptionist's eyes widen. She's clearly seen the morning news and knows exactly who I am. Let me check." She picks up her phone and whispers into it. "Mr. Morrison? They're in conference room B, down the hall, last door on the right." I walk down the hallway, past offices full of people who stop their conversations to stare. News travels fast in the entertainment industry, and I'm apparently the morning's main attraction. Conference room B has glass walls, so I can see inside before I open the door. Olivia sits at a long table with Marcus Webb and 3 other network executives. She's animated, gesturing as she talks, looking more alive than I've seen her in months. I open the door without knocking. "Alex!" Olivia jumps up, her face cycling through surprise, guilt, and something that might be fear. "What are you doing here?" "I saw the news this morning. Thought I should congratulate you on your new television show." The executives look uncomfortable, probably wondering if they're about to witness a domestic dispute that could end up on social media. "This is my husband, Alex Morrison," Olivia says, her voice artificially bright. "Alex, you remember Marcus? And these are the other producers working on our project." "Our project?" I smile pleasantly. That's interesting since I haven't signed any contracts yet. Marcus Webb clears his throat. Mr. Morrison, we were just discussing the preliminary aspects of the show. Nothing's been finalized. Really? Because the news reports make it sound pretty definite. They're even calling it Ryan and Olivia's new reality show. Silence falls over the room. Olivia's face has gone pale, and she's gripping the back of her chair like it's the only thing keeping her upright. There seems to be some confusion. One of the other executives says, "We were under the impression that you were fully supportive of this project." Were you? That's strange, since no one from your network has actually spoken to me about the show's content or format. Marcus here stopped by my restaurant with a contract, but we never discussed what would actually be filmed. Well, we assumed, Marcus starts. You assumed wrong. I turn to Olivia. Honey, could we speak privately for a moment? Olivia looks like she'd rather jump out the window, but she nods. The executives file out, leaving us alone in the glass-walled conference room where anyone walking by can see us. Alex, I can explain. Can you? Because I'm really curious how you're going to explain announcing a reality show about our marriage on the same day you went public with your affair. It's not an affair. What would you call it? Olivia sits down heavily. For the first time in months, she looks vulnerable instead of calculating. It's complicated, she says finally. No, it's really not. You're sleeping with Ryan Blackwood while married to me, and you're using our marriage as content for a television show. That's not complicated, that's fraud. Fraud? Using my name, my reputation, and my business connections to build your brand without my knowledge or consent? Yeah, that's fraud. Ask your lawyer. Olivia's phone buzzes with a text. She glances at it and her face goes even paler. What? I ask. Sasha says reporters are asking about you. They want your reaction to the announcement. My reaction? I stand up and straighten my jacket. Tell them I'm surprised to learn about my wife's television show from the morning news, but I wish her and her co-star all the best with their new venture. Alex, please what? Please pretend I don't know what's been going on for the past 4 months. Please smile for the cameras while you destroy our marriage for entertainment value. It doesn't have to be like this. We could make it work, all of us. The show could be about modern relationships, about how people can find happiness even when circumstances change. You want me to be part of your show about leaving me for another man? I want us to be mature about this, to handle it in a way that doesn't hurt anyone unnecessarily. I almost laugh. Olivia, you went on television this morning to announce your relationship with another man while you're still married to me. That ship has sailed. My phone buzzes with a call from Jake. I answer it. Alex, where are you? Style Network offices. Why? Because there are reporters outside Morrison's, and they're asking customers about your marriage. You need to get back here before this turns into a circus. On my way. I hang up and look at Olivia one more time. You wanted to control the narrative? Congratulations. But remember, every story has more than one side. I leave her sitting in the conference room and walk back down the hallway. The purple-haired receptionist watches me go with the fascination of someone witnessing a car accident. Outside the building, I'm immediately surrounded by reporters and photographers. Microphones appear in my face, and cameras start flashing. Mr. Morrison, how do you feel about your wife's new relationship? Are you planning to divorce? Will you be part of the reality show? I stop walking and look directly into the cameras. This is my moment to control the narrative, and I'm going to make it count. I'm surprised to learn about my wife's television project from the news, I say calmly. As for her personal relationships, I think those speak for themselves. Right now, I'm focused on my restaurants and my customers, who deserve better than to be dragged into this media circus. Are you planning legal action? I'm planning to protect my business and my reputation, which I've spent 10 years building. Beyond that, no comment. I push through the crowd and get into a taxi. My phone immediately starts buzzing with calls from reporters, but I ignore them all except one from David. Alex, I just saw the news. We need to meet immediately. I'm on my way to the restaurant. Meet me there in an hour. Don't talk to any more reporters until we've discussed strategy. Too late for that. But don't worry, I kept it simple. The taxi pulls up outside Morrison's, where a small crowd of reporters and photographers has gathered. I pay the driver and walk through them without stopping, ignoring their shouted questions. Inside, my staff is trying to maintain normal operations while dealing with the media circus outside. Maria meets me at the door. Alex, thank God you're here. They've been asking customers questions, taking pictures through the windows. It's a nightmare. How are reservations? Surprisingly, we're booked solid for the next 3 days. Apparently, scandal is good for business. At least something positive is coming from this disaster. Tommy appears from the kitchen. Boss, you okay? Because if you need us to throw some people out, just say the word. Thanks, Tommy, but let's keep it professional. The last thing we need is video of my staff fighting with reporters. David arrives 30 minutes later, looking like he's aged 5 years since yesterday. We meet in my office while the lunch prep continues around us. This is a disaster, he says without preamble. They've completely blindsided us. Actually, I think this might be the best thing that could have happened. David stares at me like I've lost my mind. How is this good? Because now it's all public. No more sneaking around, no more careful planning. They've shown their hand, and frankly, it's not as strong as they think. I tell David about my conversation with Olivia at the network offices, about her suggestion that I be part of a show about her leaving me. She actually said that? She wants me to be the understanding ex-husband who graciously steps aside for true love. Can you imagine? David shakes his head. The arrogance is breathtaking. But Alex, this public announcement actually helps us legally. It establishes a clear timeline for the affair, and it shows premeditation for using your reputation for commercial gain. What's our next move? We file for divorce immediately, before she can. We cite adultery and fraud, and we ask for an emergency injunction to prevent her from using your name or likeness for any commercial purposes. How long will that take? I can have the papers filed by tomorrow morning. The injunction hearing will probably be next week. My phone buzzes with another call from a reporter. I decline it and look at David. Do it. File everything. And David, make sure the press knows that I'm the one filing, not her. You want this to be public? They made it public when they went on television this morning. Now we play by their rules. After David leaves, I spend the rest of the day trying to run my restaurant while dealing with constant interruptions from reporters, photographers, and curiosity seekers. By evening, I'm exhausted and ready for a drink. Jake meets me at the bar after we close. Hell of a day, he observes. Hell of a life, more like it. You know what the funny thing is? I think they actually thought you'd go along with their plan. They really believed you'd be the cooperative ex-husband who'd help them sell their love story. They don't know me very well. No, they don't, which is going to be their downfall. Jake finishes his drink and stands up. Get some sleep, Alex. Tomorrow's going to be even more interesting. Why? Because tomorrow, the divorce papers get filed, and once that happens, the real war begins. I lock up the restaurant and walk home through the city streets. A few photographers follow me, but they keep their distance. By tomorrow, I'll probably need security. At the penthouse, Olivia's things are gone. Not everything, but enough to make it clear she's moved out. There's a note on the kitchen counter. Alex, I'm staying somewhere else for a while. We need space to figure this out. Please don't make this harder than it has to be. Oh. I crumple up the note and pour myself a bourbon. Through the floor-to-ceiling windows, Manhattan sparkles in the darkness. Somewhere out there, my wife is probably celebrating her newfound freedom with her movie star boyfriend. But freedom works both ways. For the first time in months, I'm alone in my own home, without having to pretend everything's fine. Tomorrow, I'll officially be a single man again. And then the real fun begins.